And we're back with part 14. In our last episode, our hero, Mr. Guitar, was getting his frets level. But now, they're looking a little on the rough side. They could use some polishing and stuff. I'm not really into, polishing and all that kind of stuff, but a couple of them are a little on the scratchy side, even for a player. So, plus, you see here, I messed up this beautiful piece of rosewood. See that mark right there? That's where I was grinding away on the number 2 of this puppy. And like a dumbass, I didn't put my tape on first. I messed, yeah. Swear I like a sailor. Yeah, I'm a pirate at heart, right? You see the wild turkey bottle, but it's actually rum. Yeah, so I messed my stuff up. So but also, here's the deal. This thing's only sanded maybe 150 or so. And smoother would be nicer. And an easy and quick way to do all that would also be nicer. So, and I'm not above experimentation. And I don't think I'm going to mess it up in the process. But if I do, it's, I can always come back and do the whole thing by hand. So I think what I'm going to try, hello Prince, is something that I've never tried before. I'm going to try sanding a fretboard, frets and all, maybe even some sides and stuff, with an electric sander, with a power sander. I'm going to use pretty fine grits. I was thinking maybe I'd start with 6 and see how it goes, and then maybe step back to 3 and then go back to 6, and then go down as far through the grits as I see necessary. I mean, it's I've got micro mesh and everything. I want to tape all this off and stuff, but I'm looking for quick and dirty, What can I say? I'm lazy, so. I mean, hey, the baseline factories, they got this whole machining on the side thing going on. That's really, it's cool. It's just an automated version of the old slant file tool that you can buy, which actually this one right now feels like it could use. So, yeah, I'm going to see what happens. Let's find out. I mean, if you don't try, you'll never know, right? So maybe this will turn out to be good, maybe it'll turn out to be bad. Maybe, a single coil here and here is very cool. Maybe it's amounts to a whole bunch of nothing, So, but if you get an idea, check it out, man. It might come to something. You never can tell. So, let's play around, have some fun. I'll be back. Okay, tried a little 320 by hand on the first, a little 6 by hand on the second. 6 is looking good, so I think I'm going to start at 6. I'll be back. I'll be back. Okay, I was thinking about gluing the nut back on here. This time it came off with the nut and the treble shim and the entire base plate shim, so yeah. Weakest link in the chain, right? So I was thinking of gluing this back on, but I think before I do that I'm going to put the whammy on this thing, because this will just kind of get in the way. So I've got the sander set up. It's time for some total insanity. I'll be right back. Okay, I have no idea how this is going to go. Like I said, this is an experiment. I got the 600 grit fresh sheet on the quarter sheet electric palm sander. I've done numerous fretboards. I've sanded by hand after they've been fretted, and it's somewhat laborious, shall we say. So in general, I know like the approach to doing this when you're going hand by hand, and you can get good results, man. I mean, I've taken fretboards down to like 2,000, and you can get the stuff almost like glass, and it's. I mean, I've got one guitar that I took the entire guitar down to like 2,000, and the whole guitar is like glass. It's an absolute player's dream, I gotta tell you. Just, you want to sleep with it, it's so cool. Yeah, no, not sleep with that. You just want to, take it to bed and hold it, man. You just want to hold this guitar all the time. It's just so, it's just everything. So yeah. Let's see if we can automate that concept. Wish me luck. This could turn out to be like the X3. The X3 I took, where'd it go? Hold on. Yeah, check this out. You'll get a kick out of this. Well, yeah, the X3 was like this with it's either an X1 or an X4 body. I can't remember. I think it was an X1 body. Which, hold on. Sure, why not? Okay, yeah. So I actually did probably close to a dozen experimental builds before the X4. Let's see, there was an X1. This is the body from the X1. It had a Steinberger and a neck more or less like this. And there was an EQ, a 7-band EQ pedal. It was mounted right here for the tone controls. And then the X2 was... Right, the X2 had like a spine type neck made out of pine, and it was a no head with a headstock kind of like that thing. And then it had a pine fretless fretboard, and I believe it had probably 2 neck screws bolting it to a body. Very short body, and then it had a tailpiece and a couple other things. There was another one that was like, yeah, at first it had a pine neck, and then I went to one that had an aluminum neck, and then I went to one that had aluminum neck and a hinged tailpiece for tremolo, and then I did the X3, and the X3 was, I think it was like this with a scallop neck, and I used this to try to scallop it, and I scalloped it like almost all the way down to the neck, in between each fret on a neck like this. And I also got around on the fretboard to the point where the thing was like going at every fret. It was like it had a little, the thing looked like something out of the Alien movie or something. So yeah, it was all like, it looked like the spine off the Alien or something like that. It's just nuts. And of course it was totally, unplayable, because you try to run your fingers up and down it, and it'd just be bump, 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 up and down the sides. The same way that you get with a scallop, but only on a top. You get a bump, bump, bump kind of thing. Or in general, if the scallop interferes with the straight line of the edge of the fretboard, then it looks like it's going to be detectable in an undesirable way from the player's point of view, as near as I can determine. And just to give you a perspective, let's say I've been building about 2 years, and I've been playing be 43 years next month. So, but I'm rusty. Anyway, yeah, so that was the X1, that was the X3. Never use a grinder in order to scallop a fretboard, but I'm still going to do some crazy stuff, so let's see what's up. Hi, Blackie. Watch out. Trying to make some sawdust, man. That's right. Okay. I'm thinking just start by like run across the frets, seeing what we get. All the kittens go running. Alright, let's see what we got. We got some rather polished fret tops, I guess you'd say. Not that polished though. You can still see scratches. I mean, you know, I've seen better on like Daryl Braun guitars and the stuff he looks at. Number 2's still kind of rough. 600's picking up a fair amount of material though. Maybe I should step down with some 320 right quick. We do that. Okay, 320 time. So far, this process seems to like mostly just get dust on the fretboard. No real sanding yet. Not really trying to hit the fretboard yet. What do we got? I got a uniform kind of hammered bronze sort of thing on a small scale. It's smooth enough, it's not real pretty. It is uniform though, so far at least. Yeah, it's a pretty uniform finish. So that would be the proper level of grit in order to get your level cut, so to speak, for whatever you're sanding. Okay, now it's just down to polishing. So out with the 320 and in with the 6 again. But you see, that process is only going to get the tops, so clean this stuff up too. Well, let me. We want to start at 6 or we want to start 320 on the wood? Probably 320. You take a light touch to things, then you can get some pretty nice, especially since this will be running high speed. Light touch, high speed, you can go slightly coarser grit and get an amazing level of like polish and finish. Alright, let me go fish for some grits. Okay, got some freshish here in order to get rid of this hammered bronze kind of finish on the frets. Yeah, let me just hit that up. You don't need to see this. You've already seen me do it at 320. That way I can turn the music back on. Even though I can't actually probably hear it over this, so. Yeah, I'm listening to music, but I can only play like a couple seconds or else it's like copyright infringement probably, so. There you go, you get the idea. If anybody wants to watch the video, it's ATB Ecstasy Morton Granow Remix on YouTube. Some good techno, so. Anyway, yeah. I'm gonna polish a bit and listen to some techno. I'll be right back. Well, that was fast. The song isn't even close to over. Who dat? Is that Chester? Alright, let's see what we got. Seem to bring the shine level up very quickly. Okay, they are Satin. Pretty much, I can still see a little yeah, once you get in the right angles, you can still see a little bit of scratchiness. It's no longer hammered, but it's less than what you would call brushed aluminum, even. So, and yeah, it already used up the 600. Wondering whether I should go another sheet or whether I should step down to something finer. And of course, this isn't really doing fretboard much at all, really, yet. So, I don't know. Let me think about it for a sec. I'll be right back. Okay, pausing. Crystal Method, Busy Child, and time to fire up the 600 grit again. I think really what I need is something between 600 and 320, because first pass on 600 took out most of the hammered bronze stuff from the 320, but it also clogged up a whole sheet of 600. So I guess since I don't have anything between the two, all I can do is just, burn through some 600 and clog up a few sheets in order to get down to where I normally get with like some 400 or whatever. And then, do the normal 600 work. And so, yeah, so it looks like I'm going to use a fair amount of 600 in order to get this cleaned up. Let me try a second pass and we'll see what happens. I'll be back. Okay, second pass seems to have gotten it down to a more or less uniform kind of a satin thing. Still not quite even brushed aluminum, but it didn't take off as much material, so it might be time to step to a finer grit. See what happens. I'll be back. Okay, I got it loaded up some 1000 now. Basic process. I'll be right back. Come on. Okay, 1500 gets down to about polished aluminum quality. I mean, brushed aluminum. They're plenty smooth now. from a player's point of view, there's no problem with these. It's a kind of satin finish. This is already full of material from one sheet. Let's get you a little bit of a close up. Where are we at here? Yeah, so that's the general idea. They don't look bad. You know, they're not mirror polished, and most of this discoloration on the fretboard I suspect is dust. The whole thing looks kind of like much dustier and lighter. So probably hit that up with some naphtha. Now, okay, so that's the top of the frets. I think we can say that's done enough. I'm not going to be obsessive compulsive about it. You know, they got a nice sheen in satin. They look clean. They're not rusty or anything like that. So now for the fretboard, I'm gonna clean it up, see what it looks like to start with. I'll be back. Okay, we're about, I think we're 20 minutes into this video, so let me go ahead and stop it here. That's going to do it for this one, and we'll go ahead and start the next video, and I'll pick up where I left off here. Till then, everybody have a good one.